innovator, al-Bakri, doesn't that fall under sheltering innovators, or have I interpreted incorrectly? So the story is found in, I believe, Dayru Tabaqat al-Hanabila by Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali rahimahullah ta'ala, where he says in the month of Sha'ban in the year 711 after the Hijrah, what happened was al-Bakri essentially caught Ibn Taymiyah one night in Egypt alone, and he essentially physically assaulted Ibn Taymiyah. And so the people are rightly outraged at this, and so they wanted to catch this individual and allow Ibn Taymiyah to get his revenge on the get the revenge that he's of course entitled to for the physical assault that he went through at the hands of this individual. And so Ibn Taymiyah in this situation, he refused, and he prevented his supporters from reaching this individual. And so this doesn't fall under لعن الله من آوى محدثا. It does not fall under that. Why? Because muhditha is someone who committed muhditha بكسر الدال is someone who committed a crime against another person. And then so he committed a crime against another person, and so because of that crime he committed, there is a necessarily going to be applied upon him a had or a ta'zir because of that crime he committed. Let's say he stole something from X, or let's say he assaulted X. Right? And so because of that assault he did, as we know, he has the option of either you pay blood money مثلا, or the person can have retribution done. صح? And so when you have the situation brewing and you now come as a third party and you say, I'm going to protect this individual from having that had applied upon him, or having that ta'zir being applied upon him, right? Or that qisas being applied upon him, I'm going to protect him from that, I'm going to shelter him from that, because I don't want that to fall upon him, then you are essentially falling under إيواء المحدث. حكم إيواء المحدث. That's what you are essentially. You are supporting and abetting this individual, and you are protecting him from a haqq that is supposed to befall him. Since that is the case, you are underneath this hadith لعن الله من آوى محدثا. However, Ibn Taymiyah, in this situation, he was one who was assaulted. And so as we know, the one who is assaulted, he has the option فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٌ فَاتِّبَاعٌ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَأَدَاءٌ إِلَيْهِ بِإِحْسَانٍ ذَلِكَ تَخْفِيفٌ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. Right? كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِصَاصُ فِي الْقَتْلِ الْحُرُّ بِالْحُرِّ وَالْعَبْدُ بِالْعَبْدِ وَالْأُنْثَى بِالْأُنْثَى فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٌ فَاتِّبَاعٌ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَأَدَاءٌ إِلَيْهِ بِإِحْسَانٍ ذَلِكَ تَخْفِيفٌ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَلَمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. Right? And so Ibn Taymiyyah took that road. And so that's he's well within his right to do that. And that does not fall under لَعَنَ اللَّهُ مَنْ آوَى مُحْدِثًا. Good. So that's one story. Another story is later on, the Sultan had a bit of problems with al-Bakri, had personal issues with al-Bakri, and he wanted to kill al-Bakri because of the personal problems between them. Right? And so Ibn Taymiyyah went to the Sultan and he interceded on behalf of al-Bakri, and al-Bakri, instead of being killed, was then exiled to As-Sa'id. Sa'id is in Sa'id Misr. Sa'id is a region in Egypt. So here again, perhaps Ibn Taymiyyah saw that what the Sultan was doing, meaning if he was to kill al-Bakri, it would be dhulm, oppression. And as we know, whenever you see dhulm, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to try your best to try to remove that oppression. Right? من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. And it doesn't matter whether the person who's being oppressed is a kafir or a mubtadi' or a Sunni. It doesn't matter. Of course, when it's a Muslim, it becomes wajib. Right? But if you're Ibn Taymiyyah, a person of influence, and as you can see in the Tabaqat al-Hanabil, if you go back to the Kitab, volume number 4, page number 517, it mentions right at the bottom that Ibn Taymiyyah in this period was كان يقرئ العلم. He was a person who used to teach knowledge, right? ويجلس للناس في مجالس عامة. He used to sit in the public gatherings, right, and sit with the people. So essentially, he was a person of influence. What Ibn Rajab is trying to hint at here is that he was a person of influence, and so because he was a person of influence, he was in a position to actually intercede on behalf of this individual, al-Bakri, who was being oppressed by, or how Ibn Taymiyyah saw it to be, being oppressed by this ruler, who wanted to kill him for something that you shouldn't really kill him for. لكثرة فضوله وجراءته, as Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali mentions. طيب واتفق بعد مدة أن البكري, what did he say here? واتفق بعد مدة أن البكري هم السلطان بقتله ثم راسم بقطع لسانه لكثرة فضوله وجراءته ثم شفع فيه فنوفي إلى الصعيد ومنع من الفتوى بالكلام في العلم. So you can see here the benefit that comes behind how Ibn Taymiyah dealt with the situation. By interceding on him, what happened? He was prevented from giving fatwa, meaning you can't speak about the religion anymore, right? Likewise, he wasn't killed, لم يقتل, meaning the crime that Al-Bakri had committed wasn't sufficient enough to kill him, right? But the Sultan wanted to kill him. Ibn Taymiyyah, as a man of influence, steps into play, or steps inside and says to the king, intercedes on behalf of Bakri, not to kill him. He doesn't deserve to be killed for the crime that you believe that he fell into as the king. لكثرة فضوله وجراءته. Neither does he deserve for his tongue to be cut off. Rather, he shouldn't have that as a punishment. And so the king reduced the punishment based upon Ibn Taymiyyah's intercession, and he was then exiled from this region, and he was prevented from speaking about the religion in any way, shape or form. And so this is a win. How does this fall under لعن الله من آوى محدثا ولعن الله من آوى محدثا. طيب. And so there is nothing to be connected between the action of Ibn Taymiyyah here and this hadith. طيب. And similarly, when it comes to ostracizing a mubtadi', the madhab of Ibn Taymiyyah, that you have to look at the maslaha and the mafsada that comes from this issue. قال ابن تيمية في مجموع الفتاوى وهذا الهجر يختلف باختلاف الهاجرين في قوتهم وضعفهم وقلتهم وكثرتهم، فإن المقصود به زجر المهجور وتأديبه ورجوع العامة عن مثل حاله. The entire purpose behind ostracizing a mubtadi' and boycotting a mubtadi' is for the one who is being ostracized to recant and to go back and reflect upon the reason as to why he's been ostracized from the society. Similarly, to educate him and to give him as a treat, make this as a punishment for him in order for him to wake up and see the error of his ways. Similarly, for the laymen and the people in the society to be protected from this individual. These are the reasons as to why we perform هجر المبتدع. Right? فإن كانت المصلحة في ذلك راجحة بحيث يفضي هجره إلى ضعف الشر وخفيته كان مشروعا. And if it reaches a stage where the maslaha is that by ostracizing or going or boycotting this mubtadi', if the benefit behind that will be that the evil will lessen and will weaken and will become hidden, then in this case هجره is what مشروع is legislated. وإن كان لا المهجور ولا غيره يرتدع بذلك بل يزيد الشر والهاجر ضعيف بحيث يكون مفسدة ذلك راجحة على مصلحته لم يشرع الهجر. And if it reaches a situation where the person being boycotted and the ones who are other than him, neither one is affected by your ostracization, neither of them are impacted or affected by your attempt to boycott them, right? It's like it goes through one ear and exits out the other ear. Life is still the same whether you boycott me or not. In fact, things might get even worse. The evil might even worsen. Then in this case, it is not legislated to ostracize or boycott the mubtadi'. بل يكون التأليف لبعض الناس أنفع من الهجر. In some situations, bringing them closer to you is more beneficial than boycotting them. والهجر لبعض الناس أنفع من التأليف. And bringing or boycotting somebody or boycotting some people is more beneficial at times than bringing them close to you. And then he uses evidence of how the Prophet ﷺ used to be with certain groups and with other groups. مثلا the مؤلفة قلوبهم, he brought them closer. As for the three individuals who fell into the sin of skipping Tabuk or not attending Tabuk, على الثلاثة الذين خلفوا, they were ostracized and boycotted from the society completely for 50 days. Although both were believers. Right? And so we see here there's a maslaha in bringing these people close, and there's a maslaha in ostracizing and boycotting those people. طيب. Similarly, the author Ibn Taymiyyah mentions that sometimes you will make an enemy an ally to you at times, you enter into a peace treaty with them, and another enemy, you're in a situation where you can actually fight them, so you go out and fight them. So it all returns back to this maslaha and mafsada, right? باختلاف الهاجرين في قوتهم وضعفهم وقلتهم إلى آخره كما ذكر المصنف أي ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى. And he also used as evidence how Ahmad ibn Hanbal used to be with Ahl Khurasan. When it comes to the people in Khurasan and in Basra, where there's a lot of Qadr, a lot of Jahmis in Khurasan, a lot of Qadaris in Basra, a lot of Shi'is in Kufa, right? In this case, the way that you treat these mubtadi'ah in that situation will differ from a situation where these mubtadi'ah are less in number or are barely even found in said land. طيب, so even if you were to assume that what Ibn Taymiyyah was doing with al-Bakri is part of sheltering an innovator, then we can understand why he did it in the context of his madhab and his view when it comes to hajru al-mubtadi' or ostracizing or dealing with innovators. I hope this makes sense, inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam.